welcome to October's Parks and Recs meeting. Can I have a motion to begin?
I'll make a motion to begin.
And I'll second it.
Okay, now we'll take roll. Kate Smith, here. Sue McFadden. Robert Smith.
Here.
Dennis Allison.
Here.
Dennis Kapelinski.
Here.
John Jones.
Here.
Jennifer McConnell.
Here.
Megan Shuren. Mark Jacobs.
Here.
Demita Dubose. And Mike Downey.
Megan can probably go off there because Mike's probably going to be the regular guy now.
Yeah, she won't be back for a few meetings at least.
Yeah, she's probably.
Plus she had the baby.
She have her baby?
Megan.
Megan, oh.
Okay, before we approve the minutes, did everyone see that there was a lot of red in there? A lot of the questions were answered that we had asked?
So,
Might be
two.
Demita.
Peter. Yeah,
Can't tell by the shoes.
Would somebody like to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Moving on to financial reports. First, the ice arena for revenues and expenses. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
I like the fact that you put the revenues
Yes.
and the expense totals in. It really makes a big difference.
Right, see if you're making money or not.
Yeah, it seems like there's more information in these, so I liked that. Thank you. Anything else? Okay. Moving on to the Radcliffe Center revenues and expenses. Questions or comments? Nothing? Okay.
No, move right on.
Moving on to program reports. I know some of these you don't do.
Yep, so yoga had 57 visits this month.
Artistic
The arts
media
is-
classes,
Media
that's
classes
good.
had 3 enrollments. The food pantry had served 83 households or 176 individuals. Gave out 6 emergency food bags and had $320 donation also. Kids dodgeball, we have 11 participants. And the Pumpkin Spooktacular had 16 participants as well.
Questions or comments regarding program reports?
How,
No, but Sue
how,
McFadden
how are
will
the,
be here shortly.
how are the monetary donations given?
Not 100% sure.
Oh, okay.
I will check.
Usually
on that.
usually they'll either give a cash donation. I would assume it says monetary donations, that it was multiple people that just came in. And usually around the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, coming into them,
Who gave that, Dennis, wasn't
it'll
it?
start picking up, so people
Didn't
might
you give that to
give
me?
$100.
Here's a
here or
20, here's a 50, here's whatever.
there. Yeah, they do that a lot.
I took my kids to the Pumpkin Spooktacular, and that was a really great event. Carly runs a lot of events, and she is so great with the kids. It just was really nice.
Oh, what did they do? Did they carve pumpkins? Is that what it was, or
They paint them.
paint them?
And then they have cider and donuts, and there was a few games there, and then they
That
got to go run around the gym like wild animals, so they loved it. It was fun. Questions or comments before moving on?
All right, move on, we
Okay.
good. Move on.
Old business, the secretary position. So I was looking this over, and for one of us to do it, I don't know if it would work, because, so we have communications and upcoming events, and then as far as the expenses and revenues go, you know, we would not be able to fill that in.
I think, I'm not exactly sure how it would work with us. If we had somebody, I think they would have to get with Mike, and then Mike with, because they're gonna put the agenda
Like
together.
just take notes from a meeting and
And
then,
then we can take notes, you know, of what goes on, what's being said, what's being asked. Eventually, it's gonna be Mike or myself that's gonna go to the city and say, you know, we need this, or this needs fixing, or tree needs to be cut down in the park, whatever. It's gonna be one of us. It's just a matter of taking current notes off of what we're talking about. So if we're talking about yoga or the money, you know, how did this come about, or, you know, how did we take donations? You know, we would report that Demita asked that question, and if we didn't have an answer, Mike would get an answer, I would get an answer, and then report back, and it would go into the next month's agenda. So it's basically just taking notes of what we're saying right now. And I know typically they usually go right off the camera, the review or the replay, and write down the answers, you know, whatever questions are asked. So it's mostly just reporting what we're saying.
Yeah, I think what it is they want someone to take minutes. So to go in and basically take this document and make it into this document is what
Only
they're,
you know,
but I agree with
fill in,
you.
I suppose.
I mean, I think we've tried it before, and I think it's difficult to do, but I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm just saying that the answer to your question is, they want someone to take the minutes.
So are you volunteering then?
I am not.
Okay, I would
I am
really love
already on
if
the board.
somebody would volunteer so that I do not have to appoint anybody to do this.
I would think what you could do also, to make it fair, is tell everybody they each have to do 2 months, 2 meetings a year, something like that,
Okay.
you know, and then just kind of rotate it around, and
Back in a minute.
again, all you're doing is taking notes on what we're talking about, and then you're gonna turn them into, probably Mike. I don't know who actually does, so you'd turn them into Mike, and, you know, all these red questions and answers would go to Mike. He would, when he does the next month's agenda, would write down the answers in red, just like this, and you're done. He's gonna come up with the agenda with the money and all that.
Is that all right to switch it every 2 months?
That's up to you guys. I mean, for the city, we don't care who does it or how long, or we just, apparently somebody wants it done. This isn't me
Yeah, I've
requesting,
seen that.
but I would think, you know, every 2 months would be fine. You want to, you know, you get what, 2, 4, 7?
There's 9, if we have a full,
If we have everybody, so you get, you know,
So, for curiosity wise, who does the minutes for all the other boards?
Brian Smith comes in and does the planning commission.
Is he on the planning commission?
No, he's the assistant clerk or deputy clerk. He does that, I believe, because there's a lot of, that's detailed. It's very detailed, because you're talking about new businesses and setbacks and what they're talking about on what's got to be done on buildings. So you probably don't want just a regular board member doing that.
Great, I'd like to appoint him.
DDA,
I agree.
I'll second that motion.
DDA has their own person. They don't have a city official.
Okay, all right. Demita has graciously volunteered to go first.
Okay.
When you're ready to pass the reins, though, I do agree that it could be passed around. That seems fair.
Do they have like an example or just wing it? Do they have an example of how they want the minutes to be? No, okay.
No, just like, you know, now we're talking about this position, you would probably write something on the meeting that the commission agreed to rotate it around, and you volunteered, Demita volunteered to do the first 2 months. And that's about it, and then you would give that to Mike and let him write that up.
The first 2 meetings.
And we'll get a Google Doc of the sheet, and then from there, she can take the notes, or all of us, when it's our time, we take the notes, we put it in red, we send it back to Mike, and then we have them for the next meeting. So I think that's fair. I think that if no one wants to appoint, or no one is appointed, taking turns would be the best option. So after Demita, I'll take the next shifts after her. And then, you know, it's pretty simple. So Mike will send you the, you know, document, or you can take notes as is, and then go home and then input them into the document and then send that back to him so that he'll print that off for the next meeting. So it's pretty easy stuff, so.
Thank you. Okay, Settled, moving on.
Out of curiosity,
But right
who
now,
are
we
you gonna
got 4
pick?
months coming.
I'm gonna just go in order.
You're exactly right.
Whoever comes after her, after Jen on the list, is going.
Now we got 4 meetings coming.
It's not that hard.
Yeah, that's good, that's right.
Thank you. Okay, Kiwanis Club, is there anybody here from Kiwanis?
Unfortunately, I'm the one here without the information. I don't know what happened to my friend Mike.
Okay,
Sorry about that. Maybe next time.
okay,
Okay, that's fine.
Mike, will you just leave it on there?
Yep.
Okay, will you, relay the message that we'll leave it, and then the next meeting is November 29th?
I think what they were gonna do is bring some suggestions of what they were gonna do with Kiwanis Park.
Yeah, we were talking about ideas for Kiwanis Park.
Right, and that's basically all it was about, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, to-do list, anything needing special attention? Anybody?
Is that about the parks too? Okay, I did the inspection for Florence Park, and we have a huge tree branch down, and there are other parts of the tree, I guess, when the storm hit, the tree broke apart, and it's all over Florence Park. So. And then it needs to clean up. It has a lot of trash also.
Mike or I will get to DPW and get that cleaned up.
It'd be great if we could get Tipton to help out maybe too, you know, if they could just have their students, even if we supply the bags, maybe while they're out at recess or,
Depends on how big a branch and all that.
no,
'cause
I meant
then-
the trash.
It was a big branch.
Oh, trash.
The branches.
Yeah, but while I was there also, Tipton, I guess their after-school program is there, is running, so it was a lot of kids that were coming over to the park also, since you mentioned that.
Yeah, they use it during the day too.
Yeah, so it's in the afternoon,
Yeah,
and this was around 5:30, 6 o'clock.
yeah. Okay,
At Manor Park, there's a couple of the small trees that look like they've died. They might have to be taken down.
I don't think your tulip tree made it at Manor Park.
No.
You know, the other day I was walking at City Park and I noticed, I told Mark about it, I noticed my pet peeve, some dog poop on the track. Then I watched the person with the dog, they let the dog run and go. Maybe, this is just a suggestion, maybe we should put a sign out there or something, you know, clean up behind your dog or something like that.
And dogs on leashes.
Yeah, yes. Well, it is a dog on leash sign there, but, yeah.
I mean,
But,
it's there. They're multiple.
There's two.
Yeah.
There is.
I think there is.
Clean up.
yeah, I know, but they don't use it, man.
And you give them the bags, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's bags in
Bags
there.
are there,
Yep.
and you
They're
guys
just
are
not
pretty
doing
good
it.
about refilling the bags.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's
I think-
jam-packed, but people just let their dog go.
And that's a ongoing issue with all the parks too. I mean, I see it all the time over at Rotary as well, so it's not,
Come on.
you know, just specific to the park. I know.
I don't, and I don't think,
frustrating.
It is
I don't
what it
think
is.
it's
Unless you
just
catch 'em.
specific to Garden City. I think
No,
it's
right.
every city
Yeah.
has the same issue. People forget that there's leash laws and they don't abide
Argument,
by it.
yeah, so.
I don't think the leashes,
leash,
I don't think are the bigger problem. I think cleaning up after your dog is the bigger problem that
You
people
get, you
just,
got a twofold problem there.
I don't know. You have a dog, you clean up after it.
You think?
Unless it's the litter box trained, you know.
Anything else? Okay,
You know, I do want to mention something. You know, talking about the sign, is it possible to maybe put something around some of the smaller trees in Rotary, like no climbing? I've noticed a few times where there's some heavier people hanging from
Watch out,
lower
we sit up here,
branches.
man.
Because
Look
there's a
at us up
couple of
there.
new trees, and
You see
they're
it too.
ripping the lower branches off.
Not on TV.
Not intentionally, because they're just playing, I get it, but it would be nice if the trees lived long enough to become bigger.
I don't know how
Yeah, don't
I
either.
notice it all the time. I witness it all the time, and I'm constantly, when I see them, I just ask them, politely to, if they can not do that, because, they're breaking the branches, but I mean, it's
If
all over the place.
Yeah, if the parents aren't
Yeah.
with them, the kids aren't gonna read that sign anyways.
Unless you have like a fence around the tree, then I don't, I mean, it's just, it happens all over the place too.
And then you may create another problem putting a fence around the tree.
Right,
Because now
yes.
the kid climbs
Yeah.
over the tree, falls off the top of the fence, he breaks his arm, and now guess
Yeah.
what?
Helps them get up.
Now we're in another
Or it helps them
situation.
get into the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Dennis said, it helps them get higher in the tree now.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Okay, just thought I'd mention it.
Anything else? No. Okay. Moving on to communications and upcoming events. Do you want to do it, or do you want me to just run through it?
Up to you.
You can, go ahead.
The Halloween skate is at the Ice Arena this Saturday, October 29th, from 7 p.m. to 8:20 p.m.
And people dress up for that, right?
People do. There is a costume contest.
Okay.
The Garden City Figure Skating Club, they are having their Halloween show at the Ice Arena on October 30th at 11 a.m. Parents' Night Out is on November 4th from 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. It is a carnival theme. And the Thanksgiving Bingo is at the Radcliffe Center on November 21st, and it starts at 1 p.m.
Is that just for seniors? That's like a
I
senior?
believe so. Yes.
And have you had a good turnout for the Parents' Night Out? Have you-
Yeah, they've been having very good turnouts.
The
I
last
think,
one was
I
sold
think,
out.
yeah, I think, what was it, the last two were sold out
I
because you
believe the
didn't have
last
enough? Yeah, last two were sold out.
Questions or comments regarding communications or upcoming events? Okay, open discussion. Dennis?
Yeah, I noticed something on here, and I don't see anything for the 27th of this month.
So, are you saying December 27th?
No, I'm talking about Thursday, October 27th.
Oh,
Happiest birthdays.
That's right, no gifts? I get no gifts, no cake?
you get the same gift,
Thursday.
you get the same gift I got you last year,
Last
but you get twice as much.
Thank you,
You're getting double what I got you last year.
thank you. Just had to add a little humor. Happy birthday. Thank you,
I have nothing.
John.
I would like to talk about December 27th. Do we want to have a meeting then? I am going to tell you that as long as I've been on this committee,
I'll have one in December.
Never had one.
as long as Dennis has been on this committee,
Yeah.
because we're probably
had
the
one
two
in December.
seniors, we have never had a December meeting.
Right.
So I'm going to leave it up to all of you guys. Does somebody want to make a...
You guys can vote on it.
Well, I'll make a motion.
Since I brought it up, I'll make a motion to cancel the December 27th meeting.
I will support that.
And
A third and a fourth.
discussion,
I'll just add, unless there's
Open
some...
discussion on it?
open discussion.
Yes, I have discussion, unless
Have this
there-
conversation every single year.
unless something important comes up that we have to meet.
Right.
Again, if there's something about a grant or something that we need to, we can always,
You can call a special meeting.
yes.
Yes, we can call a special
And
meeting.
it doesn't have to be December 27th either.
No.
2 days earlier would probably be better.
Yeah,
Yeah. 3 days better.
Or it'd probably be even better.
yeah, but we never had December meetings.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes.
Good
We are
job, Mr.
canceling
Jones.
the December meeting. Is that all you had?
I am done. Thank you very much for
Okay.
asking.
I have nothing tonight.
I have one thing. I'm not sure with the commissioners, if you guys received the emails as well. Maybe not the newer commissioners that might not be signed up yet, but the M Parks, we get the emails from them, and there is a grant that is a recreation grant that is coming up, and I believe there's a deadline. And
I
I'm
think
not
it
sure
said,
if you knew about that.
The Sparks.
Yep. So that was all that I had, is I
Do we have
noticed.
anybody to write it?
No, I
I'm
know.
sorry?
Do we have anybody who can write it?
We're looking into doing it right now. I know I just found out about it
Yeah, just
Friday.
come out.
Yeah, I did too, yeah,
So I just kind of started looking into it.
right, yeah.
We should
It
look
just
at
came
the
up, so.
master plan and see what ideas are on there. It was for a lot of money, up to $1 million, it
Yep.
said, so.
Since you're the liaison, would the city give money to somebody who was a former grant writer to write grants for us?
Would they pay them?
I don't know why they wouldn't, but, I mean, we might have somebody, because we have somebody, like, for the fire department that writes grants for them.
Right, because I'm sure it's fire department specific, and you have to know what you're saying in there, because you just can't go, please give me money.
But we used to have somebody in the Parks and Rec department, or FRC, whatever.
Yeah.
Yes,
family
you know who I'm
Departments,
talking about.
Combined departments
Yeah.
that would look for the grants and then write them. So there might still be somebody in that,
Wrote a lot of
in our
grants.
department right now that can do that,
Megan say she not right.
which I'm sure Mike and Doc will be,
Yeah, if you guys can look into that, or look at hiring, I don't know if she would even entertain that. And you know who I'm talking about.
Just for that specific
Just
grant.
for specific ones when we find them.
I don't know that they'll go that route.
No, but I mean, we're not doing anything right now, so let's think outside the box and come up with something.
You do that.
So Jen, how do I sign up for that? How do I get those emails?
The M-Parks?
Yeah,
I think you just go to the M-Parks.
mparks.com?
And one letter in there.
I'll look into it after the meeting and see, because I think we had to get an access,
I
like
thought-
an admin access.
I thought originally we had an administrator.
Yeah,
And the administrator took our email address and
Right,
signed all of us up as that
I
is
think
how
you're
we
right.
got it.
They send us
So I'm
a
not
thing
sure
saying
who
if you
the,
want to-
I can't say the administrator was Dan.
emails.
I
They
can't
send
say it
you
was
we'll find out
whoever
though.
was after
I know I was-
Dan. I can't say who
I don't
it
think
was.
Dan.
I know I was told I was getting access to that, so hopefully the next one.
Right, we
Yeah.
did have somebody who was an administrator, and I don't think it goes back as far as,
But you can
Oh,
go
it
on.
would probably be somebody
this is
with
something
either.
yeah, it's either Dan or, who was after Dan?
Brad.
Brad.
Brad,
Yeah, I know I got access from Brad. So
You know
we,
you got access from Brad, so maybe it was Brad
Yeah.
who originally signed us all up.
Yep.
And then you
Oh,
guys
it's
may
either
have to
Brad
go.
or probably Sandra.
No,
Sandra would probably know that.
I'll definitely find out.
Yeah, 'cause- and the thing is they might tell you that Brad's the administrator, and you're gonna have to tell them that Brad no longer
think it
works
was when
for us, so
Dan
how do we switch to get a new administrator?
I would think it was probably Sandra that did all that.
And it could have, yeah,
All that work, probably had, maybe Brad as the,
I think it was Dan who sent,
allowed
who started
deals.
you think it was Dan?
yeah.
Yeah,
And then
they're
we-
thinking it went back as far as Dan was the administrator, and I don't know if when Dan left, if Brad took over as the administrator, or if, because we
Well,
really
he
didn't.
signed us up, I would think he would have to be.
Yeah, but I don't think there was
You
really,
can have multiple admins.
Yeah,
I
right,
mean,
oh, that's true.
You can have Brad, and then, like I say, Sandra that's doing all the
Right, yeah, that
physical
makes
work
sense.
of putting everything in there.
and I don't think we really had that many new people come in that knew about that.
Right.
And that did not become an issue until just tonight when we talked about it.
Yep, right, yep.
Me?
That's all I got.
Jen, anything else?
Oh, no, I'm good, sorry.
The only thing I have is, happy Halloween. Hope everyone is safe out there. And, I will not be in attendance at the next meeting. And that's all I have,
Next meeting?
the next meeting.
So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Exactly, yeah, that's
Oh,
it.
right, that's the lady.
Unless we have a special meeting. in
Oh, happy Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. To
We're
all
giving
who are
gifts.
here.
Open business for any
I don't have nothing.
open discussion?
All I have is, this may or may not be my last meeting, so if it is my last, it's been good working with everybody. and-
He can't.
He can't, yeah.
He cannot be the liaison if he's the mayor.
Well, you have Mr. Walker that's on planning commission.
I know, but this is the
Yeah, but
Parks
this
and
is
Rec
different.
Commission, and we have never had the mayor. The mayor has never been, it's always been a city council
I think
person.
you could, but,
That was
But you won't.
we'll see. You know, we'll see how it all plays out, but if I'm not in that position, then it won't really matter
Won't
anyway,
matter
so.
anyways, right?
Best of luck to you, Mark.
No, but let me ask this question. I'll go one even farther. And let's say you don't get elected.
Say he was a
Can you still be the liaison?
That one, I don't think so. I think it has to be a council member, or
Why don't-
someone on the council, which the mayor is considered on the part of the council.
And how
Or
were
either
you,
that or look into that, because it may be written in
how
the,
were,
maybe
how
written
did
in
you
the
come,
charter.
were you appointed by the council to come here?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, like Nankin Transit, that I'm a member of, liaison to, you can have someone from the public be the liaison for the city. They do allow that. Different organizations, different bodies, different
They're not
authorities. so-
associated with the city. Really.
And I think this is the mayor's committee, right?
Well, the mayor appoints.
I mean, the mayor appoints
He
us all.
appoints us.
The mayor appoints everybody.
Yeah.
Then the council approves or disapproves, and that's how, you know. I would imagine you could have a public, but I don't think it would work that well because there's a
We'll
lot.
talk if that doesn't
There's a
happen.
lot of city questions, so.
Yeah, okay.
So would another council member fill in for you, in your place?
They, yeah,
They'll appoint
they would
somebody?
have to get appointed and.
Appointed.
And that would be the mayor's appointment, not the Parks and Rec appointment.
Correct. Mayor would appoint. So I,
Do you have anything? Okay.
public? Public?
Oh,
Yeah, don't forget the public.
anything from the public?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we would ask you if you were sick if you did not
He was
ask
sick.
something.
I was sick, but they cleared me. My question is with this bus, is there a procedure on how this goes about? Because are you guys aware, have you seen any plans on, like a 3-year plan on exactly what it's gonna cost us? Who can we actually utilize it? We've been throwing stuff all over the place, and it got very confusing yesterday. And then today, some people spelled out that it has to be ADA or compliant based on state law. So if we go by that, we're in trouble as a city. So is there a way you guys could put a little screech on that?
I would
Are
think,
you saying we're in trouble because the bus they're looking at buying is not ADA compliant?
That is what was, we questioned it, they questioned it last night, and some people on Facebook have spelled out and had a link to verify it.
was that at the council meeting?
It was at the
I would think that would be the council's responsibility.
Hang on, we'll see if we can shed some light on it.
The council yesterday approved the bus, $139,000 bus, 28-passenger bus to be used for various events and activities. There were questions that were raised about the, everything from the CDL drivers, the liability insurance, the maintenance, the ADA compliant, if it's ADA compliant. There were questions. What I can say is today they were getting a legal opinion on the ADA compliant, if it has to be, if we're using, the question was, if we use public money, does it have to be ADA compliant?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of rumors out there. I don't know what the truth is. We've asked for a opinion from our attorney, written request, or written decision, what the lawyer thinks is proper, or legal, or not. So the bus has not been ordered. It's been approved by council, and that's where we're at.
It's not for the exclusive use of the Parks and Rec Committee.
Yeah, it's
No.
not the Parks and Rec.
No,
bus,
it is not.
It's a city bus.
It's a city bus.
Right, but,
We have no say in it. We,
well, no. I mean,
Parks and
ultimate,
Rec has talked about a bus for a long time. especially after summer camp.
I'm for it,
Chuck,
but
are you?
it seems like yesterday, he did not come prepared as requested at the previous council meeting where they wanted more information.
Who did not come prepared?
Even council though, it was tabled. Like, they could have found information. They knew that it was tabled at the last meeting, so they could have dug and found information to answer their questions.
So Katie, do you know where they're gonna store that bus when it comes in?
No, because it's not
So
a
then
Parks and
he
Rec
did not
bus.
come in with all the answers. That's my point. You know, if you open a business and you want to go borrow money, you gotta create a plan.
But you're asking the wrong commission. You
Yes.
need to be asking city council these questions, not Parks and Rec.
We have no control
Yeah,
over
I'm
that.
just sort of hoping you guys could help bounce it until we get some answers. And I found out you guys, when it comes to purchasing like that, it's strictly the council.
That's strictly city and the
That's
council,
correct.
yes.
And I think, you know, with Mark's comment, after last night's meeting and into today with the, you know, rumors and things like that, like, you know, people talking about compliance issues, it does sound like they are moving forward with, like Mark said, they are talking to a lawyer to find out those answers, because that's what you want. You want answers to the questions about the compliance, and I think that it's needed. And, you know, I think that what they're doing, it sounds like they're moving in the right direction as to getting an answer from the city lawyers, so.
The vote, the
I'm
vote,
saying, Mark, you've done a great job of bringing the information to us. And I just need, you know, to me, I'm confused, because yes, that bus would be a great option. But then I could also say, at Helen Park, because of the drainage, you never bought any of the equipment that you were planning on buying. So are we gonna just let that slide away, or are we gonna try to find money somewhere else to put the equipment?
What equipment?
Yeah, what? What do
What
you mean?
equipment?
There was, when Brad was here, he was talking about purchasing stuff, and the prices he got were above the speculated budget.
Not for play equipment, for some picnic tables.
For picnic tables. and
Play
that
equipment was
drainage
never
fixed.
part of that millage money that we get every year. It was strictly just for a sidewalk and picnic tables.
It was just a picnic table.
That's what he
Not
was
a
talking-
picnic table,
That's what
but-
he was talking about when he
Yeah,
was
I thought
talking
he was
about,
talking some sort of a shield and something like that, because I'd suggest we use John Glenn's industrial classes to build something like that, and it might be cheaper. That's what I remember in my head.
It was a picnic table that had like a small awning over it, but it was already like a structure that we would purchase. Something that,
a little canopy over,
yeah, I mean, it wasn't big or anything, but it was, you know, enough to be,
enough to keep the sun off if you
Yeah.
wanted it.
Right, I mean, I'm just asking because of, you know, what's going on, and it's a curiosity, because I hear at Florence Park, there's some stuff they want done, and instead of buying the bus, maybe we could utilize it that way. We also have the issue where we're talking our money period. You know, they put out for bid the firehouse, it's over it, so I'm pretty sure that when he resubmits it, he's gonna be cutting corners of the first proposal to get it down to where he wants. Maybe the money should go there, because our fire department's more important than anything else.
but you have to understand, I'm not
city
gonna go into a big, long explanation here, but there's different pots of the pie, or parts of the pie. And they go, it's a municipal budget, this goes to that goes to, and that's when they do the budget every year, they budget so much for each department. And we have no say what happens with any of the other departments. We only get to deal with what we do, and they're talking about buying a bus, it's a city bus, it's not a Parks and Rec bus, so we don't have any control over what they do, how much they spend, where they get it from. We may benefit from it, but we have.
The main theme was Parks and Rec brought up what they could do with the bus as far as the kids camp, GC camp. They could do more field trips, they get more kids involved, they could do a lot more things. The FRC, the resource center, the seniors, there was talk they could do more trips, they could get more of the seniors involved. And the entire council is in support of that. Why I voted no was basically because I wanted more answers. 2 more weeks isn't gonna hurt anything. It might take two more, it might take, but that's all city council stuff that these guys don't have, this commission doesn't have any say over. They brought it up as far as it would be a good idea to have a bus and we could expand all these programs, which is what the whole gist of it was. Now it's council's prerogative to, they voted to do it, and now we're kind of, to me, we're doing it backwards. We're getting answers after we already approved it. But if we get the answers before we actually go buy it, then that's fine. I'm all for the bus, but I think there's a few questions that need to be answered beforehand, so that's where we're at with it.
Sue, I was under the impression we had that, but I've had a couple conversations with Mr. Doherty, and he didn't quite, he made it sound like they diverted to wherever they needed. No matter how the budget starts, if he needs to put some money somewhere else, he finds a way to do it. That's why I'm asking, and I'm, you know, I know when Mark gets in, things change.
This was part of our capital improvement plan, the bus. It's been talked about for a little while, so it's not like it's completely out of the blue. Would I have liked probably a little more notice that we were put it out for bid and we were buying it? Probably, but you know, we didn't get it, so we deal with it. It's approved. Now we'll get some questions answered as far as, you know, does it have to be compliant? Does it have to, you know, do the drivers have to have something special? Do they have to know how to do certain things? We'll get that before it gets ordered. So it's.
I don't, you know, we're on the outside, we didn't hear it. Plus, there was the issue to get someone training to be certified is from $3,000 to $6,000.
That's
I don't know if that's right or wrong.
That's wrong. I know that's wrong. The exact price, I don't know, but I'm going to say it's less than $50 to get your CDL training, your license. You know, and I would assume anybody in the Parks and Rec has already had a background check, all that stuff. So if you're dealing with the camp kids and you're one of the drivers, you've already been cleared and all that. So that would be already taken care of. So the 3,000 to 6,000, that's way off base. But you know, you have different insurance, your liability, your insurance. How much is that going to be? Do we have to carry more because we're having 28 passengers on this bus, maybe kids or seniors? I don't think it actually matters, but those kind of costs I would have liked to have known beforehand.
And I sort of got the impression that someone wanted to maybe table it for another 2 weeks and they didn't. And I'm not going to get into parliamentary procedure. Someone needs to.
We're going to get the answers, and before it's bought, it's already been voted on to buy, so we're going to buy it per everything else being acceptable. You know, if our lawyer comes back and says, no, it's against the law, you have to be ADA compliant to buy it, then we're not going to buy it. But it would have been nice to probably do that first before we passed it to buy it. But if we get it, it will be on legal, it'll have legal ground, legal standing, so we won't be up for any kind of lawsuits, regardless of what the rumors on the internet.
I have a confidence problem with a certain individual. Until you just said what you said, that resolved my problem, so thank you.
All right, thank you.
Can I ask a question about the budget? Mm-hmm. Let's say there's 6 pots.
Mm-hmm. There's a few more, but okay.
Okay, just for conversation purposes, can we say there's 6 pots?
Sure.
So at the end of the year, if there's money excess in a pot, can it be moved to another pot?
To the general pot.
Well, it's all coming out of the general fund, and they put in, I'm going to use round numbers, please don't quote me.
No, I mean, you can use 6
Parks and
pots
Rec-
with $1,000, I don't care.
Yeah, Parks and Rec can say, we've got $1 million budget. You know, that's what we could potentially cost us to run the arena, the personnel, softball, all the ball fields. You know, it's $1 million budget. If we have 900,000 that we spend, we have 100 grand left that can probably be moved around, or it just goes back into the general fund. Now, if they spend $1.1 million, Now you got 100,000 that you may have to go back into the general fund, and with the proper reasoning, you know, hey, the roof blew off the arena, we need 100,000 more to keep it running and going. I know a few years ago, when the compressors went out on the arena, you know, we were either gonna close the arena or pony up a lot of money, and we gave the money to keep it going, and so you can move it, you know, under certain circumstances, but you have a budget you start off with at the year, just like your company, you know, we're gonna spend $1 million this year, or we're gonna allot $1 million to spend. You may only spend 500,000, or you may spend $1 million, but, you know, if you're making $1 million on top of that, then you probably have a couple bucks you could move for, you know, your oven, you know, oven in a whatever breaks down. And now you have to go spend you know, 100 grand on something. So you have the ability to, we have the ability to move some money around. But overall, the overall budget is pretty well set. And I don't think we've exceeded it in the years I've been around. Which is, I think our budget's right around $24, $26 million a year for the whole city.
I'm happy with that.
Makes sense?
I understand, that's why I asked if we could move money from, because some organizations, if they stay under budget and another bucket is low or empty, they will take the money from there to there, and I didn't know if that applied for the city as far
Yeah,
as...
it's a little more complicated than that, that's why we have a dedicated treasurer, but basically, yes, the city has
As long as
a
all
pot of
the
money
funds-
and it all balances at the end of the year when we get audited and everything else, we're good.
Anything else to discuss?
When do you want the notes sent to you?
I'll send them to you. I'll send you this in a week.
Okay.
As long as it's before I have to print out the next packet, so I'm okay.
Anything else?
Nothing?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Aye.
Any Christmas games?
Yeah.